everyone, Tanya here, aka SparklessDreams. So in today's build I'm turning some shipping containers into a home. I was inspired by an image I had seen on Google, and they had taken these yellow shipping containers and stacked them in a way that they were able to turn it into a home. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I did try to keep all of them to the same width, and I did try to keep them to the same length, but clearly the living area needed to be bigger. And obviously there's an upstairs which is going to be used for a double bedroom. So there is 2 bedrooms, 1 kitchen, 1 bathroom, and a open living area / office in a way. It's not an office, but it's an office. We'll just say it's an office. Anyway, so got some big windows to get some more light in. Because it's quite small, I felt maybe bigger windows, more light, make it feel a bit more bigger inside, And then got some stairs going in, which do end up cutting out some space. So I do eventually kind of move the stairs so they're not curved and they're more straight, but we'll get to that later. So yes, they are yellow, very bright. I do eventually realise that I want to change that, and they end up being different coloured, and the shock of that yellow goes back down, so don't panic about that. So we're just going through, kind of checking out some more windows, some doors, trying to get a feel of what kind of things I did want to use, because I wasn't 100% sure on what kind of windows or the style. I'll be honest, still not 100% sure on the style of the place, but it gets there eventually. So I start laying down some flooring. I did pick wooden flooring. I just thought it kind of looked nicer, and I don't like the carpet in the game, so thank God for that. Now we are moving on to the single bedroom. So this was kind of based around the idea of maybe a kid or a teenager being in this room, so I did try to keep it as neutral as I could. But then I thought the room looks a little bit too plain, so I did end up picking pink as the main colour for this room. It kind of does go in with my sim play that I'm currently playing. There is a teenager, it's a girl. I thought, oh yeah, sure, it can be pink, why not? So we just fill the room up with some stuff that is necessary for teenagers. A bed, a bedside table. We do eventually get a desk in there. Obviously you've got the dresser, which is moved, so there's more space. I do decide, let's just throw in a bit more colour in the room. Have the pink bed, get the white and pink desk, and then it just kind of like, you just add more things, and put some fairy lights up, some lamps, some plants, and by plant I mean 1 plant, you'll see. And then the carpet, I wasn't 100% sure, so I ended up moving it and putting the rug down, which I thought was much more nicer. And then we just go around trying to put some more things up, trying to see what we can do. Wasn't 100% sure I liked the layout of the room itself, but it was doable. It was just a weird length and width, like 3 by 6. Wasn't exactly the best thing, but I made it work, I think. I mean, not 100% sure. Maybe I could have done things better or different, but it is what it is. I just tried to add more bits. I like clutter, but I tried to not put so much in. So I tried to keep it as simple and minimalistic as I could. I can't say that word to save my life. I apologise. I just add some finishing touches, and then that's really about it for that room. So moving on to the bathroom. I mean, what can you say? It's a standard bathroom. I went for the normal tiles. I thought it kind of looked nice. Got the shower combo with the bathtub. If you have toddlers, you know that you need this. I'm one who always forgets to put a bathtub in there because I always have a shower, and then, you know, hey ho. But yeah, you got the sink, you got a toilet, you got a mirror, there's things, you know, your toilet roll, bog standard things you need for your bathroom. Kitchen is by far my favorite room of them all. Going through some of the counters, not knowing what one I wanted, I went for the classic kind, but then I kind of realised I actually didn't end up liking them. So they are actually all swapped out for the counters from the Parenthood pack, which I love. I love these counters, and especially the cupboards that go with it. Amazing. They're just so nice. And obviously just adding the bits that you need in the kitchen. I do tend to keep kitchens very simple. I do sometimes clutter them up, but you just always have the bog standard things in your kitchen. The microwave, the coffee machine, the sink, oven, fridge. What else do you need? Though I know I do tend to also forget bins, so that is also one big issue. Yeah, but just putting in some decorations, some clutter, you know, got a nice shelf, got some utensils. What else do you need for your kitchen? That is actually one of my favourite things to do, is to put that shelf there above the oven, because obviously it's got some spices on it. It kind of just makes sense to have it there to begin with. And obviously trying to find a door. I wasn't sure what kind of door to lead out into the garden, so you just got the basic, they French doors. I call them French doors, no idea, but that's what they are to me. And yeah, this is also something else I like to do with the coffee things. I think they came with Get Together. I like to stack them like that and then put a plant and a mirror there. I just think it looks really nice, and it adds something to a wall that's very plain normally, so just a little something. Moving on to the living space. Now, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do with the living space because it was such a weird kind of shape in a way, and obviously the stairs, so I thought, let's put a bookcase down there, throw in some pillows. It's just using up some space which is never normally touched, let's be real. So, you know, just got your coffee table, I mean, the chair, and I really love this shelf. I think it's very modern and sleek, and I actually think it adds a nice, great touch to the room. So just putting some things on there like a picture frame, books, some cards, just trying to have it more lived in. But yeah, I actually do like the living room. The way it turned out was actually really nice. So I actually do love those chairs that came in the pack. What was it? Eco-friendly? Off the top of my head, I could not remember what it was called. But yeah, so finishing some touches and then moving on to the little office space, which I do eventually have to move the door. There we go. The door's been moved, so I can actually put the desk there. I actually was not a big fan of the window, so that is eventually changed out for a smaller one. So it's not so blare in your face. It actually just adds a little bit of something, I feel. And yeah, so that's just that. Finishing off that area with a nice carpet. You know, always got to have some sort of carpet plant. Or why not? Because plants everywhere. And then I think we eventually kind of pick something for that wall. And then we move on to the dining area, which is a very awkward size because you can't exactly have a table normal and then chairs on either side because the Sims can't get through, which is very frustrating. So I've put them like that, pushed up against the wall, tried to find something to put on the wall so it wasn't so plain. I did eventually find these really nice prints. I think they were leaves. Oh god, that sounded very weird. Leaves or floral things, no idea. There we go. I just thought they kind of added they added colour to that little section, let's be honest, which was something quite plain. And then we find like a nice little light to put on the table. And then this, let's just say I am thankful that we can now move the windows. That is one thing that is handy for everyone and we are thankful for it. And here we go, this is where I decide change some of those windows as well. There's too many. Let's just throw in some other random bits, see what can happen, right? And now the double bedroom. The windows were too big, so I'm glad I swapped those out. And these windows are nice. They have a windowsill. Let's face it, you can put things on there, like I do eventually. You could just store nice little cluttered items on there with obviously the move object cheat. So you can move things around, and I actually think it just adds a nice little touch. Just, you know, you could put things there so it's not so plain, just make it more lived in at least. Well, that's the way I see it. So, you know, just going around, adding some bits. And this was the bit that I found really weird because I didn't know what to do with the dresser. I didn't know what kind of style I wanted to go for. But all I knew is I wanted this big mirror, which I absolutely love. So then I put in this mirror above the dresser just to add something there. And then going back and forth to some rooms. I always tend to do that and I'm just like, this could go here. So then, yeah, I always trail on to something else without ever actually finishing it properly. So yeah, just adding some finishing touches to the room. This rug, I love it, but I didn't know if it looked right, so I left it there. I can't remember if it's actually in the finished build or not, but yeah. So what I'm about to do now is also one of my favourite tricks. If you have space and you don't know what to do with it, put a side table, a mirror, a plant and a little puffy, and honestly it's the best thing. It just fills up that little space that you had and you didn't know what to do with it. Also this window, I changed it out, don't like it, put in a smaller one, do the curtains, add a plant. Honestly, these windows have just been saving my life, let's be real here. I actually love them. And then just trying to figure out what to do there. I thought the bust looked nice, but then I thought it looked too small. So then I kind of just shoved a plant there. So I love the sunflower plant, it always adds a little bit of colour to a room. Then the chair, and right here, so I decide let's change the colours. They were all too mashed up, they were just blended, it looked weird, so I thought let's just break it up. I actually end up liking the colour combo after. It kind of just adds a bit more dimension to it, so it's not just one big yellow block basically, let's be real. But yeah, so the matching roofs for the paint or the metal or whatever texture it is, adding some roofs which also have a matching thing for it. I actually like that things in this pack do match, unlike other things, which is very frustrating. So moving on to the outside, just to add something there, had some plants, and then I eventually kind of removed that door and I'm like, let's put this front door in, much more better. So yeah, and just give it some support, because it needs support because it's currently just a bit just there, like you're gonna fall on me, okay? So just adding more, and then we eventually just decorate around the building, put a pathway down with some stones, rocks, rocks. They're rocks. With some rocks just to kind of make a trail for the pathway, which just adds a bit more to the outside of the building itself. So it's not just, you know, there, just you got a nice pathway to walk up. Why not? So now we've done that, we can now just add some bits around the building, add some, you know, plants, something to give it a bit more life, so it's not just a metal container in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, adding some plants around the area, and don't forget the mailbox, because that's missing on this plot for some odd reason. So I was looking for the solar panels to put on top, so could help save a little bit on your bills, and the energy saving windmill, I can't remember if that's the name of it, but it's something. So moving on to the garden, I didn't actually know what I wanted to do with it. I actually sound like I didn't know what to do with the whole thing, let's be real. So yeah, just a fence. I did want an area out there for you to have a barbecue, so there's a table, some chairs. A barbecue is actually put in as well, but things are actually moved around as well, because I actually don't know the placements of where I wanted to put the things. So it was just me just messing around, seeing what I liked, seeing what I didn't like, and that was mainly just it for that. So those finishing touches, and then there was this part of the plot that we hadn't touched, so I decided let's put a little tarp out there, a basket for a picnic, some books, a boombox, and that's where your team can go to just relax and chill, really. You know, so we're just adding up some finishing touches, going around with some dirt, just trying to make the place feel a bit more lived in, because it's not exactly like, you know, that clean. So just adding some lights outside because it's really dark, moving some bits around. Yeah, I don't actually like the lights for the game outside, very like weird, and unless they actually match your area, they're weird. So just putting another seating area up here, because I didn't actually know what to do with this area. I knew I wanted to use that fireplace, and that was pretty much it, because it was a really nice fireplace and it just wouldn't have gone in the house. So put that up there, a big patch of plants, just somewhere for your Sims to go, I'm guessing. That's really about it. But yeah, so just finishing it up. But thank you for watching. I'll leave it off here. There's screenshots at the end of the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.